Guys, what's up? I'm going to give you guys a little update here. There's a couple things going on. Take a look at it. We got some got a new sunspot, coronal hole, winds, all that kind of stuff going on. And a couple articles I'm going to share with you guys, just so you guys can get an idea get a lot of questions on when the next big solar flare is going to be. So there are some articles and things out there about when they think that'll happen. So we'll probably take a look at one of those. But yeah, NASA misses another asteroid. It just got put on the near-Earth object 2 days later. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. But anyway, well, 1 day later. I'm sorry. So yeah, hi to everybody in there, guys. Yeah, E-Rock, Arizona, Dennis, IG. Who else we got in there? Paula, what's up? The Real Me, Vicky, Shine, Dennis, Robin. I'm not sure how to say that. Estula. Paul did it. What's up, guys? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get into this. The Schumann guys, there was a little spike here just a few hours ago. Seems like we had like a couple different really short-lived ones. You can see it down here where it's spiking too. But yeah, not much really to report on there. Nothing like crazy going on. But again, now we have a third line up here becoming more prominent, and we've seen it go all the way up here, even up here, and stay there for days. The 783 again is the most prominent one that you're going to see. That always stays there. So, you know, that's really what we consider kind of our baseline, which it really isn't a baseline, but I'm going to use those words just so I don't have to explain much further than that. So if you're feeling ringing in your ears and things when this stuff goes on, that's this could be the reason why you're feeling those things. Do a little different. We're going to start with spaceweather.com here first. You guys know I usually wait a little bit to do this one in my show, but because of what I'm going to be talking about, we're going to start here. Anyway, it says solar winds spark auroras, obviously. You know, when we get high solar wind, you get auroras. It just is what it is. It says from that southern hole where we got our fast winds from, or uptick in wind. I'm not even calling them fast because they're not that fast. You know, I think I used a fast in the thumbnail. I was going to change it, but I got lazy. So anyway, that's what that is. And also we were talking about those small CMEs being on the end of that. We'll take a look at that again too. But as you see here, guys, you see this right here? That's that big sunspot. They were able to see that with, you know, with nothing more than a camera. That's how big the thing is. But there was some special conditions that allowed this to happen. You can see that it says so big. You know, I can see it clearly with the dense haze of the unfiltered sunset. This guy was in Italy, and he photographed that. Now this right here is just atmospheric distortion. You know, when I explain this to people, you know how if you guys ever like drive down a really hot road kind of out in the country, and you kind of start coming up a little bit of a hill, you'll see that like haze right above it. It's atmospheric distortion, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. So yeah. I talked about this a little bit. This is that spiraling cloud that they seen on the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, I have to say. But that is something that is very explainable. We get these quite a bit, believe it or not, when we have rocket launches and things like that. This one isn't like the big intense ones that we see, like what's happened over Norway before and other places where it looks like a big spiral. Then it kind of opens up in the middle. I think I might have a video here on my desktop. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the like more extreme looking ones. But what this is, guys, this was actually explainable too. This was a failed uh, ICBM, and they were testing them, and at least that's what they're saying. Now I'm not sure if I believe all that, but I can't prove otherwise, so I can't really say anything. But it is very strange and very suspicious looking when we see things like this, because it most certainly looks all kinds of crazy. Now, if you haven't seen this before, it's going to look really nuts. I get it, because it shocked me the first time I seen it. People were kind of talking about blue. I don't want to use that last word. It kind of looks like, that's blue, okay? I get it. But at the same time, if you were to look at this on a more pulled out version, it's not one single beam, okay? You can clearly see it even spirals. So I don't know that that's part of that technology. Now, I can't say that it isn't. But
New
again,
Castrol GTX Ultra Clean, formulated.
Sorry. But again, I can't prove it is or isn't. But what I will say, that's all kinds of crazy looking. I mean, it's impressive, either way. So, So yeah, guys. I mean, that's one of those things. It's like, what do you guys think about that? I think that's kind of crazy looking, if you ask me. And it's happened in other places too. When they started launching off all the SpaceX rockets, we started seeing, there were a lot of people catching those things when they were going to space, and they looked very similar to what I just showed you, but they were horizontal or more than angle, because the perspective was different from who was watching it. And again, I know there's a lot of theories on what you just seen there, and to be honest with you, I don't know where I fall on all that. I can't prove anything on that, so I'm hesitant to really go too much more into any of that. I don't want to say something and then for it to just come out and be like, no, stupid, this is what it is, that kind of thing. What the heck is this thing doing? Hold on a minute. I gotta get my other window back open here. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Paul. Only at dusk and dawn, and that's exactly when they seen that cloud, okay, up and down the East Coast. And it was throughout the whole East Coast. It wasn't something that was specific to one region. Hey, Sid, what's up? It was all, it really did. It went, a lot of people caught that, and it really, this one in particular, okay, is what I'm talking about. This was on the 5th, I believe. The one capture we had the other day, that I had from this, and I was going to show it to you guys, they took it off of here. And I went back to try to find it, and I can't find it. It actually showed almost like a vertical version, like you were looking right up from underneath it, and it was blue. Not blue, like a teal color sky. Had the background. But it was spiraling. But you can see that there's a big difference from this and from what I just showed you guys. So I'm not, I think one of them may be a rocket fail. One of them could be a missile test fail. It could be exactly what you guys are saying here in the chat. I don't know. I really wish I could get some good answers on that. But, they have to explain that in some way, because it is something very crazy to look at. So that's why they do that. Now, if it is something nefarious or something they don't want to tell us about, frankly, guys, we're never going to know. At this point, we have no tools to kind of prove it. We don't have any of that kind of thing. At best, is what I can do is give you my opinion. And, my opinion is that I don't have one on that one. I've not seen anything to kind of sway me one direction or another, other than the intensity of what we actually just seen. So, I'll have to leave it there, I guess. But anyway, the near-Earth objects. I'm going to show you guys this, okay? This is today. This is the most recent. Remember what I said about this? When they're, they keep adding to this when they see them. Look at this. Okay? Look at that one. Now, if you guys remember what this looked like, that wasn't there. Because I made specific comments about, this one being 1.1 and nothing else was any closer or anything else. Note the date, the 2nd. Watch this. I'll go back one day to the 6th. It's there. Okay? So they seen it yesterday. This is probably when they added it because I didn't look at it too much. Let's go back to the 5th. Not there. Okay, so what's happened here is the 2nd came and passed, and so did that asteroid, and nobody's seen it until 3 days later. It came within 0.6 lunar distance, which is about a little bit further than halfway to the moon. Okay, and they just seen it 2 days ago. And it passed us on the 2nd. So that like I said, they missed that by, oh gosh, 3 days? So takes 10 seconds for my message to get to me? Really? Wonder why. It's kind of odd. If you're putting in keywords, like something the algorithm doesn't like, it will do that sometimes. I'm not sure what your message is. You might try wording it different, maybe. I don't know. If it did it with that one, then it ain't definitely a keyword. But anyway, this is the one that they seen. It was 0.6, and it was 7 meters in diameter. Okay, and everybody was losing their mind over this one. I don't get it. I already talked about that. That's why I know this one wasn't there. This one came closer and it was bigger. So, that is what it is. I'm not sure when they added this one in either. Because I remember looking at this and there was nothing like between November 2nd and the 1st that was even highlighted in red. So I don't know what, when they caught that one. So, hey, good to see you, Susan. A little too spicy. What? A flat earth notice? Really? Okay. Nope, that ain't me. Who knows? Who knows where that could be? It doesn't matter. I don't care anyway, either way. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. There's nothing I can do to change that. If it's only got one, if it's doing it on every video, then they've caught something somewhere thinking the algorithm thinking I'm out here talking about flat earth and stuff, and I'm not. So, yeah, thanks for telling me that, though. It's interesting. Sunspots, guys. Again, this one, you notice the number is before this one. The reason why is because this one was off the side of the sun, and so was this. This one emerged first. And it was here, and they gave it a number. Well, it decayed and lost all its characteristics, so they took the number away. So this is what they've done is they put the same number back on it. Because technically it is still the same sunspot. So that's how that works. People have asked me that question before too. But notice how big that stupid thing there is. My gosh, that thing is big. Yeah. Now it ain't like it's not unheard of to see stuff like that, and we're going to see more and more of things like that. Just on a regular basis, pretty much. So yeah. Let's go under here. Let's go to space weather conditions here, guys. I will back that off a little bit. Okay, now you guys know what I've been talking about here. Look, I mean, the flares are going to continue. It's not going to get any kind of quieter, any kind of time in the near future. So, you know, we got these happening, and these are all in C-class range. Okay, if we'd have got a C-class flare 2 months ago, it would have been big-time news. Because, I mean, it happened, actually. And now nobody's really even speaking about it because our baseline of X-rays has actually went up there. It's barely below a C, so any kind of sizable flare at all is going to give you a C-class range flare. Or, you know, and it ain't going to take much more to get it up into an M. So, the upside down grass. Oh, yeah, that kind of looks like that, doesn't it? That's cool. Yeah, good one. But you guys remember me talking about the fast wind that was coming from that coronal hole? Well, it got here, and I told you guys that. And I said there was probably a CME or something on the back end of it. And I also mentioned that it might miss us. It may not have been that strong. Well, it looks like it did come, but right here, and it didn't do much. Okay, because you can see how all the conditions kind of tailed back off. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. Let's look here real quick. First look at the sun here, guys. There's another decent coronal hole that opened up. That is actually pretty significant. It may get bigger. It could close back up. We really don't know. But that is a substantial coronal hole. Now, the size of it isn't necessarily large. But what I will say is that it looks as though it will allow quite a bit of charged particles to flow out of that thing. You know, because there isn't really any kind of background. I guess I'll use the word color. It's not really what it is. But, see how it's just kind of like solid black? Whenever you see that, that means the atmosphere pretty much is peeled all the way back, and it's letting that go through. So, we may have already connected to that, because we're kind of here. Alright? And we do. The thing doesn't have to be right in front of us to connect to it. Okay? Just take two magnets. You don't have to be right in front of it on the table to get one or the other to move by moving one closer. Or whatever angle. Right? So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a connection there. Interplanetary magnetic field lines. That's our connection to the sun. And that's where these charged particles, they stay on that line when they travel here. Dense ones, they stay close to the middle of that and they spiral down. Less dense will actually spiral out like this. Okay? But they still both travel on that line. That's what's getting them here. Okay? So with that being said, we can talk about the BZ because, you know, if it's coming our way, well, is it going to be trying, the angle of it, like I just said, is it going to be trying to deflect it or draw it in? How do we know? Well, we look at this, the BZ. Underneath 0, okay? If it's in the negative, just remember that means that its conditions are favorable for it to come into our system. If it's in the positive, it's actually kind of doing the opposite. Doesn't mean it still can't get in. It just means that it's harder for it to do so. Now, sorry. We got this one, and that's the phi angle. It did its polarity flip up and down. Okay, it's pretty typical. And when it did, we've seen a little bit of jolt here and there. Nothing big, major or anything. But let me zoom in here real quick. You see the range, 2 to 600. That's 400 kilometers per second. Okay, and that's pretty normal. I like to see it when it looks like this. Okay, you know, when you see what looks like a straight line, it means the conditions are pretty steady. They're not variable. They're not jumping all around. Because each data point is nothing more than just a dot on here. So how does it look like a line? They get multiple close to the same readings back to back to back to back to back to back. And it makes a straight line. When that's not happening, it looks like down here on the temperature. See how it's jumping up and down? I call it popcorn, but you know, this is the name I gave it. So anyway, as far as the range goes, it's saying we're right at underneath 500, which is what we're seeing. This right here is density. It is a little variable, but it's only jumping from 0 to 1. But if you look at your graph here, it's got 0 to 1. You would think that this, from this line to the top, would be 1 to 2, right? Well, it's not. It's 1 to 10. So anything that's happening above that line is actually more intense than what it's showing when we're talking about a difference of data. Okay, there's a visible light. You really don't even need it to see that sunspot. I mean, amateur astronomers are seeing it in their backyard. So, yeah. This Enlil map, again, this one goes right on. It's staying low. What I did find odd, look at this. 0 to 30. But there's nothing on here to suggest anything like that. Unless this whole tool, if any of these three come in close to that, it'll raise all three of them. Which is kind of what it looks like it's doing. Because the conditions at stereo B, which is over here. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me start the graph here. Okay, so we'll take this line to where that's at. Look at stereo B. Okay, it's getting that big smack of high dense whatever here in the next few hours. So I think that's why that jumped up. I did not know it did that, and I'd never noticed that before. So that might be why sometimes this thing jumps around and we really don't see a big change here. So I didn't know that. I actually just figured that out today when I was looking at it. Like I said, guys, I learn stuff every day too. You know, like I said, I learn more from you guys than I do anything else. But that, hey Sid, what's up? George, hey bud, how are you? All right. Electron flux. You can see how we're having increased electrons, which is a normal thing to see when we're getting solar wind. Now, you see how this one, when it did its thing, the magnometer did it, reacted too, magnetically here. But this one, with this little bit of an increase in electrons, the magnometer didn't do a whole lot. So they're not like completely going to react at the same time. I just wanted to point that out. The Aurora map. Let's let this stupid thing load. I would have all these loaded up, guys, but I can't. If I do, it kills all my frame rate. It really makes everything run really, really slow. Hey, Hilly, what's up, man? Omni, what's up? Dent Oscilla. Huh. That's an interesting name. Anyway, you got this showing up here, and that was from that increased solar wind. But we didn't see a whole lot, guys. At least not where we're at, right? The Barrier, what's up? So we can look at the absorption prediction map here. And what that is it's telling you exactly what that is. It's how we're absorbing the X-rays. So it's kind of talking about flares here, guys. So, but what this does is it shows you where at on the planet that it's kind of centered. It's easy to see, obviously. So there it goes. Okay. It was over the Pacific too, and we had some pretty decent ones. When I had you over at spaceweather.com, they actually talked about that back on the 5th, I think. And I think I showed it to you guys anyway. I'm going to pause this. It takes too stinking long to get to. See that? Notice how it goes from right to left. Reason is because we're spinning. We're rotating. And right where that's at, that would be the sun. That's why it's doing it like that, because that, the flares are coming from the sun direction. X-rays period are coming from the sun direction. Okay, you see that one there? I'm going to show you something. That right there is this. That little spike right there. Or it could be that one. It's one or the other. So that's what it is. Okay. Magnetopause models. Again, we had some increase in solar wind. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these models tonight because there's really not a whole lot of different things to show you here. I'm going to run them just so you guys get a chance to look at them. That way, most people would just skip over this if it wasn't really showing a whole lot. I want you guys to see it because what it does is, even for myself, it will burn a memory in your brain, okay? And it will, it'll help you notice when things are not the same, when conditions are different. You may start catching things that you didn't catch before. That's why I kind of show it to everybody every day. So when I do show you guys something that's not normal or what's not normal on there, and I say that, then you guys kind of have a better idea. That's why I do that. Here's the density. Again, seems as though this down here reacts a little bit different than right here. Now this is reacting similar, but it's not the same. And sometimes we'll see it react down here and nothing up here. So I'm not sure what's going on in that section of our magnetopause. I really I don't know. It's very directional. Pressure, yes, that's quite a bit, just so everybody knows. But the thing is, it's not really up against our planet. Okay? I wouldn't even say it's inside the satellite line. It doesn't look like it is. So, but that doesn't mean it ain't affecting us magnetically, because the Earth still has to fight this off. So we're still pushing. Actually, we're pushing all the time. ISWA. I'm going to run these real quick. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, this one, I use this one a lot to show you guys flares. And I'll show it to you again. You're going to see the flaring mostly from here. See that? It's just little blips, guys. Right there. See that? Now, I'm not going to zoom in because I've been showing you guys that a lot. It does take some time to zoom in. I don't want to kill a whole lot of time here. See that? I think it's pretty cool to look at that kind of stuff. Again, it's not doing a whole lot. But what I will say, we've got something on seeds that looks like a jet that's continuously just spewing energy out up here on this part of the sun. And I'll show it to you here real quick. Push play. Watch up here. See that? It leaves the sun, and then things seem like it just keeps going. See that? Now, the initial would have been a CME, okay, because that's plasma leaving the sun. Maybe it's a continuation of that. But it does look, I'll show it to you on seeds here in a few minutes. This is a 211. Most of the flares are coming from here, but we're getting a few little small CMEs off of this one. At least we were when it was back here. And that's the ones that I said, and a lot of other people even talked about it, that could have been coming our direction. But if it did, again, it didn't hit us very hard. So it would have been on the back end of that solar wind stream too. And that's exactly where we've seen that uptick. It wasn't a big uptick, but it did uptick some. Take you over here to the 304. And again, flaring Be interested to see what this does. Don't look like it's doing much. It's stretching out there a little, but it ain't doing a whole lot. The ISWA magnetopause models. Grab this one. We'll go forward with it. See how we're getting those little bam? That's just, you know, again, solar wind hitting us. Maybe part of that little CME, who knows? But it's not like really, really intense. It is an uptick, and that energy actually is inside our satellite line. So what I showed you guys over there on this one, that may be close enough to get into our satellite line then. Notice how when we get hit, watch our bow shock. It'll compress in, out here. And then it'll push back. It's called compression and rapid expansion. Sometimes it really shoots out pretty far. But that's pretty good constant pressure on the backside there. Now, you know, it is more here. And I've been commenting on that, guys, remember? Why, again, it's in that same place where that density anomaly happens over on the other tool. This thing, where we see it here. See that? And again, sometimes it's more intense than others. So, there's that. Now, let's grab this one. Yeah, again, we're still just getting hit from solar wind. And yes, it's going to cause some things to look kind of funky. So, I mean, it wasn't nothing there that was like crazy. I've seen way worse. I've shown you guys way worse. Australian model. Shout out to my Aussies out there. Notice how the wind speed is now was up over 500, and the density was actually pretty decently high too. That's why we've seen a little bit of uptick on what was going on. And also here, this will show you the BZ. Remember, if we see negative, that means stuff, you know, it's coming into the system and not trying to deflect it. So let me run that. Well, we'll run the 7th here and see what we got. So again, it doesn't look like much is actually happening. I mean, we're seeing a kind of an uptick, but it's nothing like extremely like, oh my gosh, storm level type of stuff, because it's not. Seeds, this is the 6th. This is our view, guys. It's as if you walked outside and looked up at the sun. You seen that little jet fly out there. You're seeing kind of continuous energy flying everywhere anyway. Okay? And that's pretty normal. It really is. And that, guys, anybody that hadn't been around this for very long, you're going to be really surprised once we start getting closer and closer to solar maximum. Because the increase in the stuff happening out here is going to be so substantial. If you were to not look at this for a year and come back and look at it, it would shock you. It might even scare you. But that's why I'm showing it to you guys now. Because I don't want you guys to be like that. Because what we're going through with stuff like this is very, very normal. It's expected. Now, why the magnetopause or the magnetic field of the Earth is the reason why I talk about it so much, because it is weakening. Okay, it's moving, it's weakening 10 times faster than what it was. It was thought it was 5% every 100 years. It would weaken. But they had to rethink all that, and they seen it, and now it is every 10 years. And it could be even doing it faster. Like I said, that's 10 times faster, just at that. But this is that little stream that I was showing you guys. I thought maybe that's what was going on, and it could still be. Because if you notice, it starts down here and kind of waves up that way. Okay? And you see this one here too. That's pretty easy to see. See that? Now, I can't tell you if that was on the front or the back side of the sun. The occulter's here, and it looks as though it could be coming at us, but it could be going the opposite of us. I just don't know what's happening on the back side of the sun. So that's why. Now you can still see the uptick in like what looks to be little meteorites flying around. I think what's going on there, guys, we've had a solid uptick in not solar wind, but X-rays, and it's staying consistent. And the models do this when they get hit with that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you guys something here in a minute. When I'm going to show you some of the older big flares and what it does to these models. Okay, I'll show it to you here in a little while. Earthquake. Oh wow, that just happened, guys. Yeah, that just happened 20 minutes ago. Okay, there's no tsunami warning for that, which would be, it would be typical that you wouldn't really see a tsunami in an earthquake like that. Yeah. It's over land anyway, but sometimes even that can cause tsunamis. But something I was looking at here earlier, guys, is the fact that, we had a 6 down here. It looks as though we've had kind of an uptick in the intensity. And why I say that is, you look there, that's a 6. That's a 5.9. That's a 5.8. A 5.2. That's a 4.8. It ain't that big. But, it's on the bigger side of things. And then now we got this up here as a 5. Okay? That one there is in Idaho, but, not that big. So, yeah. That's kind of, it happens a lot, guys, when I show you this stuff, okay? Because it does. If it pops on there, it just happened. So we're looking at, that was at 7:23, which would have been, you got to add 5 hours to that, which would have been 12:23 UTC. Okay? I'm on the East Coast, and I got mine set for East Coast time. You can go over here, and you can set it for just purely UTC. I like to know when it happens my time, just so I got a better idea in my head. But I also want to know UTC, because then I can compare it to other tools at the same time to see what was going on at that time. You can see over here, Afghanistan, they had one, India, okay? Most of them hang close to these lines, guys, okay? We seen this one, and then this one happened, and then this one happened after that, in between. I'm not sure what causes that kind of phenomena, but I'm sure it's related. Just like getting aftershocks up here. Yeah, see, they highlighted this one in red. Let's check out the shake map, okay? Get you guys up here with me for this one. So when we're looking at this, it shows you where it's at. It's actually just north of Anchorage. I would imagine there's some pretty decent population there. Yeah, that's showing you the epicenter. And then you got these colors, okay? So if we zoom in, it might take, I think it takes us down to like the county level, maybe. Nope, not there. I'm probably looking at the wrong map, so. Goodness. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. I just clicked on the wrong one. You see how they got these boxed out? It's telling that this is where they felt it and all that kind of stuff. I don't think this is the reports one, is it? Nope. So yeah, this is kind of what they think happened as far as where and how hard it was hit and all that kind of thing. I don't see anything big happening from this one, guys, at least my opinion. I don't, typically a 5 won't really cause all that big of an issue. The biggest risk here with a 5 would be if it happened in a third world location where the buildings and stuff are not up to our standard of code that we use over here in the States. Sometimes buildings will fall because of just their structure integrity is not up to where it needs to be. Okay? It didn't happen in that place like that. So, again, yeah. Power outages. There's no power outages except for here in Oklahoma. I'd imagine it probably came from thunderstorms or something like that. I haven't really heard a whole lot there. But there is a significant of people without power here. Alright, now it happened in just a couple counties here. So with that being said, I guess it could be, like I said, thunderstorms or something bad happened as far as weather-wise. They've got 42,000 people without power. And that's in, well, yeah, that would be Oklahoma City probably, which is highly populated, and that's why you would see that amount of people that don't have power. Okay, I'm going to show you here. This is Track the Tropics, guys. It's one of the best sites that I've seen. And I've mentioned it to you before. I'll take you guys over here right there. But you can get to all these different tools that, like the Weather Channel uses them. NOAA's on here. I mean, it's got a lot of good information here at one location. So this is where I go, This is the track of what they think is going to happen. Okay, that's not the track, but it's telling you where the watches and warnings are. Here's one of the cone models. Okay. It looks like it could, clip Florida there. And then probably when it goes up here, it's going to go this kind of direction. Who knows? But have to wait and see. So yeah, that's kind of crazy there. Here's the other cone. We'll look at this one. So it's said to be at 65 miles per hour right here when it hits Florida, it looks like. It doesn't look like it's going to be very strong. Okay. I'm going to show you a couple other things here real quick that I wanted to point out. And this was something I came across, just researching stuff. This is the history of solar flares. Check this out, man. It tells you what's going on with this. Okay, it talks about the Carrington event, the 1972 storm. Okay, it tells you what happened during these storms. Now remember, 1859 was the Carrington event, and that did fry a lot of the telegraph lines. Okay, geomagnetic storm here on set at 72 caused power outages and electrical disturbances across Illinois. All right, that's here in the States. And they talk about Apollo 16 and 17, how 16 had returned earlier in the year, and Apollo 17 was still preparing for launch. Why is that important? Guys, if they're up there and that happens, and it happens where they're at on that side of the Earth, if they're orbiting in that spot, that's not good for them. They could die, actually. This is the one that got knocked out in Quebec in 1989. It did. It knocked out lots of stuff there. It said electrical equipment as far south as New Jersey was destroyed. Think about that. Recent and future solar events. Here's where, look at this, okay? The future of solar events is uncertain. While no other modern solar event has a 1 in 8 chance of happening when? 2020. We're in 2020 now, guys. And again, this article isn't brand new. I show it to you because it's got the history of this. When was this one written? That was back in 2017. Okay, so with that said, I don't want to say that we're overdue for something like that, but if they thought something, we had a 1 in 8 chance. That is what, whatever that figures out to be, percentage wise. Yeah, again, this is actually a good hub to come look at, guys. How do solar flares affect the Earth? It actually will it'll go into that, how it affects satellites, auroras, all the stuff I talked to you guys about. So again, I'll leave a link to this. Actually, let's just do this real quick. If you guys want that, it's right there in the chat. Grab it and put it on your desktop or something, and you can come back to it. Oh no, don't go there. There was one, and I need to find it again. If you guys want to hang out with me just for a second here, I want to look for something. Okay, where's the top 50? I think that's where I seen it. Here. This is a good one here, guys. Look at this. This is awesome. I found this yesterday. Top 50 solar flares that we've had that was recordable in recent time. And I'm talking, this takes you back to, 2003, 1997. I imagine, is the Carrington event even on here? No, this is supposed to be for recent ones. Now, it's telling you the strength of this. Look. That's an X28, and to give you guys a little reference there, an X40 is what hit with the Carrington event. So let me show you that they got a movie of this. See that? That's all kinds of nutty, isn't it? Look what, and this is where I'm going to stop it here because I want you guys to see that. What does this look like? That looks exactly what I just showed you guys over on Lasco C2. See? It's not as intense because we didn't get an X28 flare. But what we're getting is stuff from a C-class flare. Or close to it. That's why we're seeing the sparkling stuff here. These are not meteorites. Okay? Meteorites will leave a tail typically. So you're seeing X-ray affect the camera, is what you're seeing. Let me push play again here, because I want you guys to see that flare again. That's intense, isn't it? Look at that. Now remember, I just showed you guys one that just happened where we could see it ourselves on the sun right now. And it didn't look anything like that, okay? So, again, let me say this too. That is not right in front of us. Now, I'm assuming this came from like SDO or Soho, one of the two. I don't think this came from Stereo A. If it did, then that means that would have been like right in front of us. So I guess it could have. I don't know. I think they're using Soho or SDO though here, okay? That was a big one. So yeah, but that wasn't even as big as what we've seen on the Carrington event. We'll look at another one here. Okay, you're going to progressively see them get smaller. But again, watch this. Okay, that's what see how fast it hit that satellite? Now, did you see that? That wasn't even where the flare was. The flare happened over here. You remember me talking about 180 degrees difference sometimes, a lot of times, we get a reaction on the sun, exactly opposite position of where the initial one started. It's like you draw a straight line through the sun. This is even supporting what I say there. And this was back in 2001. So it ain't something like it just started happening. See the flare there? Then it starts right here. See? That's a flare, and the other one's a CME. This one's going to be a CME. Watch it open up. See? It looked like it had a little flare with it too, but not little. Actually decent size. So when we get those big ones, it really affects almost the whole sun. You'll see it ripple across the surface usually. Now I'm not sure what tool this is. That's an older tool, I tell you that. That's GOES 12. Wow. You see what I mean by how technology's gotten better? And this is why I say we see things now that we didn't used to see. That's why we miss. Think about this. Look at the difference between 2005 and where we're at now, okay? This looks way crappier, doesn't it? So when we're talking about near-Earth objects, we got better technology now. So we're seeing more of it. It doesn't mean that it hasn't always been that way. Wow, that one was right in front of us. Now I want you guys to look at something here. You see this? That's an X10. We've seen those. Now, it happened back in 2003, but I'm talking like within the past few years. Back when we were back in solar maximum last sun cycle. And that's why it went all crazy out here, because it was right in front of us. Notice how more intense that was even than the X28, because the X28 was off to the side. So I'm not going to go through all those. Again, I guess I could do this. If you guys want to go check that out yourself, there's a link to that. I'll put it in the description too. But yeah, I think that's a cool place to go look. And so, cause I get a lot of questions on that. You know, when's the next one going to happen and what's happened in the past? Well, there you go. There's two decent articles to go look at. And plus you got, not really a prediction there, but they're saying that they thought a 1 in 8 chance by 2020 that we would see another big flare. So, yeah. So what do you guys think about that? You guys like those two articles? I'd like to know, because I don't want to waste my time if people don't want to see it. Okay, cool. Cool. Glad you guys like that. Hey, Tempest, Dutch is still there. Okay, he's doing stuff over on Twitch. Okay, he's still doing updates. You just got to go over there and watch him. And he'll come back to YouTube too, but yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys like that, because I did. I thought it was really cool to see. So yeah, guys. So you guys have a good weekend. Where's Twitch? How do I find it? Tempest, hit Twitch. You can go to the App Store if you're on your phone. You can, just hit Twitch in a search engine. You'll get there. It's a social media platform. What it is they stream over there a lot easier. It was set up for games, like gamer streams. Oh, I don't think he's been banned. He might have been put on like a 90-day whatever. I don't know. I don't know if he caught something like that. Man, you got jokes, man. I love it. Love it, Hilly. Yeah, do exactly that. If you're going to search for Twitch, don't accidentally type in twerk. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm, Hey, Martin from Germany. Matthew says Dutch is just laying low. I think so too. So, yeah. When he comes out with stuff that pushes against mainstream in a big way, they mess with him bad, guys. They really do. And the reason they mess with him, it ain't about getting disinformation. It's about getting the right information out there. And they will most certainly mess with you if they think you're going to change the public perception of what's actually going on. And, I get messed with too, and I just don't tell you guys. Just saying. And I'm nowhere near as big as Dutch at all. So, I guarantee you, those guys over at USGS has got his stuff on speed dial. They probably got 20 shortcuts on their desktop that they have to look at every day. Arena of the Heavens, all the time. Good to see you. Yeah, you're welcome, Deborah. Thank you for your time. I'm serious. Thank you for coming over here and watching what I'm putting out, because it does mean a lot to me. That's the whole reason why I do this. If I didn't think I was making at least a little bit of a difference for anybody, I wouldn't be here. So, yeah. I'm going to show you guys this again, too. Just real quick, like. Guys, I've told you guys this, my quote that I hear to teach my kids. This is exactly what I believe. Okay? This is not guaranteed. Happiness is not guaranteed. We have to choose it. And it is a choice. Okay? It really is. It is a killer choice that you have to understand that basically what I'm saying here, no matter what your situation is, you can find happiness in whatever situation. You really can. And this is the story I tell people in my own personal life. I remember back when I had nothing. When me and my wife first got together, we didn't have, hardly anything. And then we had our son. Okay? I remember being so much happier. Or not, I won't say so much happier, because it's not like that. It's a different thing. What it did to me is it showed me that I didn't have to have a whole lot of material things to be happy. All I needed was my wife and my kids. That's it. So no matter what we're going through, I'm still going to be happy. Just because they love me and I love them. And that's just how things are. And I want my kids to have that same kind of mind thought. And that's why, down here, look, 1993. That's about the time I started saying that. That's my anniversary date, 9/18. That's why that's there. And, this is something that it's been, I just kind of came up with this one. And the reason why is because of what's going on. Nobody comes to the middle for nothing. And what it boils down to is your perspective. The cause of all conflict is our refusal or inability to see others' perspectives. If we can step out of ourselves and look at things through their eyes, I promise you would have a different thought pattern than what we all have right now. Just saying. So, yeah. I just wanted to show that to you guys again because I think it's important to kind of see that kind of thing. I really hope that people get something out of that. There's times where it's a struggle. Let me say, okay? It's a struggle to find that happiness. But at the end of the day, It is a choice. Because you could have all the stuff in the world, and some people are still miserable. It's like they're happy in their misery. We've all said that before. But the fact of the matter is, it is a choice. Nobody can take that from you. You could be getting smacked in the head every day. But there's something there to find that could be, help you get to where you need to be. Finding peace. You could even, for me, happiness is peace. Okay? When I'm at peace, I'm happy. So, yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Let me see. Where did you say that? About the Twitch thing. Who was that said that? I forget. Oh, Tempest. Yeah, you're welcome. MJ, I don't think they shut him down. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So, I don't know. But, yeah. Okay. Oh, what did Bill 86 do up here? I ain't gonna look at it now. But anyway, she would, yeah. I don't know what was said, but I trust my mods, guys. So, that's why. Notice that there was no banning going on there, okay? That's what should happen first. They're doing it right. Now, if that time goes away and something happens again there, that would be a block or a ban. And guys, I have very simple rules. You can't be disrespectful. You can't be vulgar. You can't attack anybody personally. And if you say anything at all about another creator, even if you think I don't like them, that is an immediate, you're at least getting timed out right away. Because I can't have that, I don't like it when other people do that to me. So, yeah. No, I'm not questioning what you did there, Isaiah. Not at all, IG. I just want you guys, I'm saying it so everybody else knows what the rules are. And I have to say that quite often, just so people understand. Because it's nothing personal. And most of the time, guys, when that stuff, the timeout stuff happens, it's because it got personal. You can't call somebody a name. The second you call somebody a name in a bad way, that's personal. You can challenge anybody you want to on their ideas in here, as long as it's respectful, as long as it's not, vulgar. And you guys know what I say. I actually encourage that because it causes us to be better if we can have respectful conversation. So, I'm not going to go too much more into that because it'd take an hour to sit here and we could rant about that all day long. We've all seen it, and we all know when we do it ourselves. Sometimes and anybody that hadn't been a mod for a very long time that's here right now, sometimes those guys will just pop off something on purpose because they know that they're going to get timed out or whatever, because then they could come back up in here and say, why'd you time me out? You canceling? You censoring me? No, we're not. At all. It's all about being respectful. And you guys can attack me all you want. I said that. As long as it ain't vulgar. I've told my mods, just leave it there. Okay? As long as it ain't vulgar, attack me all day long. Then I'll address it. So if you're a subscriber here and you see that happening, just do me a favor and don't engage with them. Don't try to, take up for me or anything, because I do appreciate that when you guys do that. But at the end of the day, what it does is it fuels them. And we want to starve them out. That's kind of what we're doing. Yeah, Tibbs, we are. Yep, we're doing okay. My wife is sick again. She's, she got some chest stuff going on. I have to say this too, guys. The global illness that we're all dealing with right now, whether people think it's planned or not, which I kind of think myself. I'm not sure where I stand on that. I'm leaning more towards like a planned thing. but I also know that stuff gets over-exaggerated. So I don't know. I'm not going to argue with people whether or not I think it's real or not. I do think it's a real thing. Do I think it's as bad as what they're saying? Don't know. All I can say is my son works at the hospital, and they've got 2 wings completely dedicated to it right now. 2 days ago, they had 5 people on ventilators. We had the single worst day we've ever had in my county the other day. Single worst month. 28 people gone, dead. Now, you know, I'm not going to go into all the details, but yeah. So anyway, we just got to address it, you know. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to go get off here. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, rest of your weekend. I may come back on late tonight. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Hope everybody's doing good. If I don't see you till tomorrow, be good. God bless. Yahushua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid. Thanks to all my mods and subs. Thank you.